Hey, come in.
Nice to see you.
You too. Sit down.
Oh, thank you. So, Varun, I just wanted to talk to you a little bit. I think that, I really appreciate all the help that you've been giving my team. I think that, we have had a lot of success with your advice, and we really appreciate it. But, I wanted to be completely candid with you. Sometimes we have difficulty integrating some of your ideas, and to be completely honest, sometimes when we come to you with questions, we're a little baffled by your response and taken aback by the kind of attitude. I'm sorry to say this because I really respect you, and you've given us so much help, but the kind of response that you give us has been a little difficult, and we really want to integrate your ideas. The idea that you gave us about bridging over all the social media data through using the API that you recommended was brilliant. But, for example, one of our coders didn't know how to do anything and tried to ask you a question, and he came back and told me that he was kind of yelled at. And I just wanted to bring this to your attention because I feel like moving forward, it's going to be really important for us to have a good relationship.
I'm glad you came to me with this issue, because quite a few people have told me that I'm not a very good team player, and I'm glad somebody came up to actually discuss it with me so I can improve on my faults, so that I can see what is actually wrong. And regarding the thing you mentioned, he did come to me. At that time there were a lot of personal issues that I was having, and that those came to work with me, so it kind of came out of him. But I will be very careful about it next time. But besides that, the questions he asked me were also very, very basic. I was hoping that a coder of his level, would be able to deal with those issues in a collaborative manner with his team. Coming to a senior individual on multiple occasions is not always the best solution. And all of those issues jumbled up together kind of came out in a bad way.
And I really appreciate you saying that. I think that one thing you might consider is the fact that you've been here for a really long time, and your experience far shadows anything that we have. My team is very young, as you know. I've been here for only 1 year. My other team members have been here for 1 or 2 years as well, and so some of these things that you consider to be easy are they're quite difficult. You have garnered a lot of experience in the field, and so it's quite easy for you to go through some of these projects. And in response to that though, because I do think it's important for us to both kind of address our issues, if you have any information or if you have any resources that my team can look over so that we don't have to ask you so many questions, that would be really useful.
So what I can do is to help you to help you bridge that gap that we are having of the information and the knowledge. I have a lot of data with me. I refer to some websites, some books, and there's some old code I have with me. I can give all of those to you. You and your team can take some time, spend a couple of hours a day to read over that, to bridge the issues you're having, to study it, and all the experience I have gained over the years, and I have troubleshooted all those problems, you will be able to understand the solution firsthand. So tomorrow when you face those problems, you will not come to me right from the basic problem. You'll come to me for all the high level issues.
Okay.
Those which you can actually take my expertise in.
So, I think that in this conversation, kind of framing this relationship properly, I think it's important if you feel like there's ways that my team can approach you in a better way, because I really appreciate you saying that you do recognize that there are some issues with your responses, and that you did mention that you were bringing some personal things, and I hope everything's going well with you. But if there's ways that you feel like we can approach you in a more constructive manner, do you have any ideas on that?
So that is a way you can help out. What I would suggest is, first and foremost, go through all the data I'm going to give you. Once you have studied it, once you've understood it, you will be able to bridge a good deal of gaps on your own, because the data is very informative. Secondly, all the problems you do come across, sit down and brainstorm as a team. Because after all of you are smart people, and all of you guys can still understand the problem. You can break it down to smaller pieces, and you will be able to solve it better. Ultimately, the brainstorming will lead to very precise questions. Those precise questions will help me answering your problems better. ultimately, you guys can come to me with pointed questions, and most importantly, we can have bi-weekly meetings. We can meet twice a week. We can meet on Wednesdays and Fridays for an hour each day. We can go through the entire status of the project, where you can tell me every single issue you are having. You can come to me, and we can discuss those issues in a timely manner, instead of a large number of people in the team coming to me individually with a plethora of issues.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a fantastic idea. You know, I think my team will be extremely happy to hear that. You know, we had been kind of looking for a mentor, and I feel like this type of attitude that you're giving us is it's awesome. You know, it's awesome to hear. You know, we're excited. I'm very excited. I know my team will be excited, and you know, I apologize for the kind of way that we've been interacting in the past year or so. You know, I think that you're right. There's a lot of issues with just blasting you with questions whenever we have them, and I think what we're going to do is I'm going to make sure that my team has 2 meetings a week, so that we can get all of our questions together, so that when we do come to you, we have much more solid and firm things to ask you, so that we make advantage of each other's time in the best possible manner. And you know, I do appreciate you sending the information. I think that that's going to really help us close that knowledge gap that we have. You know, this is really a great starting point. I think that, you know, this is what we were looking for. And I think that, you know, we should kind of put the last year behind us. I think that it takes some time sometimes for people to get used to each other and see how they work. And you know, in that vein, I would propose that we kind of set a couple of goals, you know, kind of lay out our framework for how we believe this project should work, you know. I think that we both agree that we want the project to go smoothly and effectively, right? Like, we're both on the same front. So maybe, you know, what we can do is we can kind of set some sort of, my team will think about the goals that we hope to get out of this project, and we can approach each other so that we have a really well thought out plan, and we are kind of, when we do meet, we meet on the premise of really getting something done and achieving something, and I think that that'll be really useful for all of us.
I agree with you. The idea of setting those goals will allow us to measure and quantify where we actually are in the status of the project, and it will help us to bridge all the issues, the gaps that we're having together, so that we don't have any issues in the future.
Yeah, and you know, again, I want to say thank you. That we have a lot of respect for you. We have a lot of respect for what you've done in the company, and the progress that you've made in the field. And you know, hopefully with this new information and this new style of approaching the project, you know, we can really churn out this project in a much quicker manner that's much more effective than how we were previously working. And I'll let my group know about everything, and I think they'll be really thrilled to hear this. So I just wanted to thank you again. You know, it's been awesome.
That's great.
This is a great conversation, and definitely more productive than the ones that we've had in the past.
Yeah.
So awesome. You know, we look forward to continuing in this trend and working together on this project.
Great.
Awesome. Great stuff.